Hello. Today we're gonna look at 7 very common verbs that you probably use all the time, especially at work, like discuss, mention, join, call, but very often they're used incorrectly, okay? And these are exactly the kind of small mistakes that can make your English sound less natural and less professional. So, are you ready to fix them once and for all? Let's dive in. So let's start with the first one. As usual, let's translate the following sentence. Dyskutowaliśmy o pilnych zadaniach na ten tydzień. Go ahead. So in this case, many people very often say we discussed about urgent tasks for this week. But unfortunately, that's incorrect. Why? The correct version is we discussed urgent tasks for this week. So remember, we say discuss something without this about preposition. So it's simply a calque from the Polish language, right? Because we say dyskutować o czymś, but in English we say discuss something because actually the translation would be omawiać coś. So you can't really say omawiać o czymś, right? So this is how you can remember this collocation. Discuss something, and also instead of discuss something, you can always say we talked about urgent tasks for this week. And by the way, remember, we say urgent, not urgent. Very common mistake as well. Okay, another one. How would you translate this sentence? Wspomniałam o tym na wczorajszym spotkaniu. Wspominałam o tym na wczorajszym spotkaniu. So again, the common mistake here is I mentioned about it during the meeting. Again, you're literally copying the form from the Polish language, right? Wspominałam o tym. I mentioned about it. But remember, the correct version should be as follows. I mentioned it during the meeting. So again, no about preposition here. Okay, so mention something. Discuss something. Okay, one more sentence to be translated with this verb, perhaps a question. So how would you say, czy wspominałam ci o moim nowym projekcie? Czy wspominałam ci o moim nowym projekcie? Go ahead. And the answer, have I mentioned my new project to you? So actually this to you should be included at the end, okay? So have I mentioned what my newest project to you? But obviously if you're talking to somebody, then you can actually skip this to you and you can just say, well, have I mentioned my newest project, by the way, right? So you can skip this to you. And of course, remember, we're going to use this present perfect tense here because we're talking about this so far aspect. Have I mentioned my newest project, like so far? Okay. Next one. Translate this sentence. Dołączę do spotkania za 15 minut. Go ahead. And again, a very common mistake is to say, I will join to the meeting in 15 minutes. Okay, very common mistake. So again, we need to eliminate, get rid of this to preposition because we say join something, join somebody. So the correct version, I'll join the meeting in 15 minutes. Repeat after me, I'll join the meeting in 15 minutes. Okay, so one more to go. A similar verb, the same verb, but in a question. So how would you ask, kiedy dołączyłeś do tego projektu? Kiedy dołączyłeś do tego projektu? Go ahead. When did you join the project or this project? When did you join the project? Okay, so join the project, no to here. And by the way, a very practical tip for you regarding English tenses. Whenever you're asking this when question, like kiedy coś zrobiłeś, o której godzinie coś zrobiłeś, it's always gonna be, at least in like 80% cases, it's gonna be the past simple tense. When did you? When did you do something? When did you meet? When did you start working here? When did you join the project? Okay, are you with me? Okay, let's translate this sentence. Zadzwonię do niego, jak tylko będę miał czas. Zadzwonię do niego, jak tylko będę miał czas. And now here we can actually spot 2 mistakes. So the most common mistakes in this sentence that I can hear during my one-to-one classes are as follows. I will call to him when I will have time. So what's wrong here? First of all, you're probably starting to recognize some pattern in today's episode, that all these verbs should be used without a preposition, okay? So call somebody, not call to somebody. So the translation, I will call him when I have time. And that's the second one. So very often you add this will and you say, I'll call him when I will have time. So you're adding this will because in the Polish version of the sentence you have jak tylko będę miał czas. Kiedy będę miał czas. So you're adding this będę. But remember, in English, after when, after as soon as, after if, we use the present simple tense because this is some kind of variety of the first conditional. So once again, repeat after me the full correct sentence. I'll call him when I have time. Or I'll call him as soon as I have time. Jak tylko będę miał czas, as soon as I have time. Once again, no will here. It's a very common mistake, I have to tell you. Okay, number 5. Let's translate. Kontaktowaliśmy się z klientem 5 razy do tej pory. Kontaktowaliśmy się z klientem 5 razy do tej pory. And again, the most common mistake would be saying, we have contacted with the client 5 times so far. What's wrong here? Remember, again, no preposition here. We say contact somebody without this with somebody. Again, it's a calque from the Polish language. Kontaktowaliśmy się z, right? So the correct version, we have contacted the client 5 times so far. And by the way, pay attention, present perfect has been used here because we talk about this so far aspects. Things you've done so far till this very moment. Okay, ready for number 6? Translate the following sentence. Muszę skonsultować się z moim przełożonym. Muszę skonsultować się z moim przełożonym. Go ahead. And again, the patterns here. I need to consult with my supervisor would be a mistake, okay? Because we say consult somebody. Like call somebody, contact somebody, and consult somebody. So the correct version, I need to consult who? My supervisor. I need to consult my supervisor. However, if you wanted to say, so there is some kind of exception here, if you wanted to say skonsultować coś z kimś, czyli nie skonsultować się z kimś, tylko skonsultować coś z kimś, okay? Then you will actually add this with preposition. Example, muszę skonsultować ten pomysł z moim przełożonym. I need to consult this idea with my supervisor. So compare. I need to consult my supervisor. Muszę skonsultować się z moim przełożonym versus I need to consult this idea with my supervisor. Muszę skonsultować ten pomysł z moim przełożonym. Are you with me? I hope you are. So the last one for today. Ready? Napiszę do niego i dam ci znać. Go ahead. Okay, and a very common mistake here, as usual, you should know it by now, is saying, I'll text to him and I'll let you know. So saying text to somebody. Or for example, I texted to him. I texted to Kasia. So remember, text somebody, like call somebody, contact somebody, consult somebody, text somebody, okay? So the correct version, I'll text him and I will let you know. I will text him, okay? So what's the pattern here? Well, with verbs such as discuss, mention, join, call, contact, consult, and text, we don't use any prepositions, as opposed to, w przeciwieństwie do, the Polish language. So beware, strzeż się. So let's revise these collocations so that they stick in your mind, okay? Repeat after me. We discussed the problem. I mentioned it. I joined the meeting. I will call you. I need to contact the client. I need to consult the supervisor. I texted him. Okay, so no prepositions here. And if you feel like these are exactly the kind of mistakes you make, I've collected the most common mistakes that I hear on a daily basis among my students during my one-to-one lessons, and I've created a video book, Wyczyść, swój business English w 10 dni. So 10 days, 10 key areas such as prepositions, przyimki, tenses, czasy, conditionals, okresy warunkowe, and all these kind of calks from the Polish language and many, many others. And this is just a real upgrade in how you sound in English. So if you want to finally clean up your English and get rid of these most common mistakes to sound simply more professional and natural at work, especially, then check out the link in the description below this episode. Thank you. Cheers.